Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Office Hours. Welcome. I'm going to do a little adjustment to the camera here. Looks like I've got some, what I got going on there? I got some extra, there we go. That's better. Welcome everybody. Welcome to Office Hours. Please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay, and we will get this show on the road. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. Hope it was a good week and you are fired up for the weekend. Welcome everybody. Welcome. As you all know, today's Office Hours is 100% Q&A. I have nothing prepared for you. So if you don't ask questions, we will sit here and stare at each other awkwardly, which is uncomfortable for everybody. So please fire in your questions. Awesome. What's up, Patrick? Hello, Wendy. Good. Awesome. Seems like everything is working here. Perfect. Patrick, I know you had mentioned before inside of Circle that you wanted to jump on here. I don't know if that's still the case, but either way, what I'm going to do here, everybody, is I'm putting in, thank you, Gene, welcome. I'm putting in the link there. If you want to join me on camera, then you can use that link and you can join me on screen here and we can have a conversation. Otherwise, you can type in your questions into the chat here and I will respond to them that way. Let's see here. Gene says, can I get rid of Vimeo and add videos to high level and use custom values to keep them updated everywhere? Ooh. Oh, hey, look at that. It's my mom. What's up, Mom? Welcome to Office Hours. Let's see here. Gene's first question here. Can I get rid of Vimeo and add videos to high level and use custom values? I'm going to think about that one for a second, and then I'm going to give everybody real quick. Yes, my update. This is my first week back at work after a 3-week trip around Europe with my kids, which was absolutely amazing. Once in a lifetime experience. My oldest daughter is about to go off to college. And I was very anxious to get this trip in before she does. Because I've been trying to get him back to Europe here for the last, handful of years, but with COVID, that has been not an easy thing to do. And so we went big this trip. We had a big, long trip and we saw a lot. We covered a lot of ground. We did Lisbon, Paris, Lake Como, Cinque Terre, Florence, and Barcelona. So we had an amazing trip, and it was everything that I wanted it to be in terms of my connection and fun with the kids. And it was also incredibly motivating for me in terms of, I love business. I love my business. I love entrepreneurship, but it was so cool to be able to be in Europe, traveling around, working remotely when I wanted to, but mostly have automation working for me on my behalf while I was gone. So that I was still generating revenue, hitting my revenue targets and all that type of stuff. That's an amazing experience. And everybody should get to experience that. So be excited and work on building those assets and automation at your business. Robert Stanley, my man. Robert, it's an odd combination of genetics since my mother is here on the call as well. What a call that I get my mom and Robert Stanley on the call. It's genetics, thanks to my mother on the call here and her choice of wonderful husband. It's a lot of hard work. It really is. I have a full hour and a half of makeup before these calls, All right. Let's get down to some serious business, damn it. Gene says, can I get rid of Vimeo and add videos to high level and use custom values to keep them updated everywhere? Gene, I am just not sure. I'm wondering if anybody on the call here has an answer to this one. So I still use Wistia for my videos, which is super dang expensive. I would love to be able to get rid of it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the video hosting in high level works. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. The use of custom values to update the embed codes of the videos, that should work just fine. But in terms of getting rid of video, Vimeo, where are you going to put those videos? I mean, if you put those videos, you could just put them on YouTube. You could put them on Amazon. YouTube is going to be the free one, obviously. I don't know that you can host them inside of high level in a way that's going to do what you're trying to do, though. So I would have to play with that one. I'm not 100% sure. But yes, the use of custom values to update the embed codes, definitely. Okay. Hey, welcome. Patrick says, I already answered the question. Okay, cool. Good. Let's see here. Rajesh says, Gene, yes, you need to use the HTML player for it, but you need to host it somewhere that is publicly accessible. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was thinking too. So I think you just need to put the videos up on YouTube, something like that. You could have them unlisted so they're not publicly visible. I think you could do it that way. Yes, absolutely, Rajesh. Yeah, I would love to do that. Yep, cool. Let's see here. Kevin says, is R4 the best program to use for a new SaaS business? Okay, yeah. So Kevin, R4 is 100% about sales. Okay, it's 100% about sales, your sales conversations, your sales process. It does, though, particularly the R4 Surge to SaaS framework sets the stage also for how you are going to deliver your services. Okay, so what I've done with the R4 Surge to SaaS is I've given you all the way to the point of here is how to discuss the specific steps of onboarding and how you're going to deliver your services to the customers. So it takes it all the way to outlining here's how we're going to work together. And then the actual specific deliverable. So how you've configured SaaS, how you've configured your services on top of SaaS, all that good stuff. That would need to then come from either you have already designed that, or that's what I cover like in my MSP Academy program. Okay, so MSP Academy, you actually get access to the R4 as part of that, but you also get a whole, MBA curriculum on here's how to determine your specific audience, what they need from your services, develop a strategy for how you're going to compete in the marketplace, design those services, and sell those services. So that's the whole thing. The R4 in and of itself, won't tell you exactly like how to set up SaaS, how to configure SaaS, what features do you want to offer, what things are you going to put on top of those features to differentiate your version of SaaS from the next person's version of SaaS. Okay. So I hope that helps you, and I'm happy to answer, anything more specifically there that I can, but that's my kind of short answer to your question there. Okay. Patrick says, with the new resolve in the local media model, I'm going back through the LMLA training. I would love your off-the-cuff comments and anything that's changed for implementing. Cool. Patrick, yeah, I'm about to do an update to LMLA, so you get more in-depth here pretty quickly. I would say the couple of biggest things. One is that, as you are aware, vertical video on Instagram and vertical video on sorry if you can hear the background noise there, gang. We've got some work going on outside here at the restaurants near me. So vertical video on TikTok and on Instagram is obviously a major factor in media today. So I would just say, in terms of content creation, stuff like that, like if you were starting from scratch today and said, hey, I want to get the most attention as quickly as possible for my media, I would be on those platforms and I would be using vertical video for sure. So, you know, that's a major change or major development since I launched local media for the first time. But, you know, otherwise, everything that's in the program is still absolutely valid today. It's still, other than incorporating that vertical video, it's the same way I would go about launching everything. It really has not changed, which is one of the beauties of the model, is it doesn't really change, you know, that much. It's super simple, right? It's media. What content is going to get attention? That's pretty much it. You know, and get that content out there. The other thing that I would add to it, Patrick, is I would just say, you know, you've heard me talk about, I'm sure, the display advertising system I'm using now from Broad Street. That's not in that original program. That's something that's, you know, relatively new to me. I think it's awesome. And I think offering display advertising as a paid service, as I'm doing, is a great model. So that's something that I was not doing before, because I had downplayed the value of display advertising. You know, as a direct response marketer for years, there was this period of time where display advertising was kind of considered the dumb advertising, because, you know, oh, you're just putting an image up there and very, very, you know, few percentage of people actually click on that. Now I actually see display advertising as very valuable. It's incredibly valuable for branding. It's also very valuable for, you know, clicks as well when it's done right, but it's incredibly valuable for branding. And there's a lot of value to that to customers. And so being able to sell display ads on my site now is something that I wish I would have done from the very beginning. And Broad Street is an amazing tool for doing that. So those, you know, details on both of those things will be incorporated into the new version of Local Media Launch Accelerator. Okay. Yep. Mike, we have Flicksters by Danny and Kai DeVry, and is one time only with hosting. Okay, cool. Sounds like you're saying that's a Vimeo replacement? Yeah, one of the things about Vimeo is no competing videos and noise. Yeah, same. Yeah, that's why I use Wistia as well. That's a really good point. That's hard to do with you know, with YouTube, obviously. So maybe this Flicksters, I don't know. I'm super skeptical. I got to say, I'm super skeptical of hosting anything that's important to you on a tool that charges you one time for the hosting. They've got a business model that only works as a kind of Ponzi scheme thing, right? If they keep on selling more and more and more new accounts to new people who then don't do anything with those accounts, then it works. Otherwise, they've got a model that doesn't work. So I'd be super skeptical of that. Yeah. So I would be careful with that one. Cool. Yeah. AWS is amazing video hosting and super inexpensive. Jeff is right. So if I were looking for just like the cheapest, high quality way to host my videos, I think it would be AWS still. It's a little more clunky than using some of the, you know, systems that have a nice interface, but it'll get the job done and it's super cheap. David Stone says, can you walk through your offer of the R4 system in the SaaS configurator? I'm thinking 97, 247, and 397 done for you with high-level website ad services on top. Can you walk through your offer of the R4 system in SaaS configurator? So David, here, let me, I'm going to fire up my magic whiteboard here, and we will give this a shot. There's probably a bunch of people that this could be valuable for. So let me fire that up. While that is coming to life here, let me look at some of these others. I will star that one so I know to go back to it. Paul says, where can I find info on the 5 Fs? Is there a full walkthrough of setting up each stage, not just the overview of the system? Paul, that is a great question. That should be in leverage selling, but it is making me wonder, though, if I have done it in there in the detail that I think that you're asking for. And if I have not, I will. So it should be in leverage selling. But if you are not finding it in there, please let me know. And I promise that I will take care of that very quickly, because I think that that is that's an important one for everybody. And I realize I'm talking with my back to the camera now. I also just made the screen all yellow. Let me fix that. See if I can fix that. There we go. And then it's a little bit better anyway. Do that. We'll create a new canvas here real quick. Okay. Aaron says, what's the best way to aggregate local events for your newsletter content? In terms of like actually finding the content itself, Aaron, I use Facebook a lot. I look at Facebook events, and then for the most part, the rest of them I get from PR firms locally that are representing the events and representing the businesses, and they send them to me. And then I use Good Bits, which is this is in my newsletter training. If you have my newsletter program or Local Media Launch Accelerator, exactly the workflow. I use Good Bits, which is a really, really handy tool to pull content into and have it formatted into a really nice looking newsletter super easily, super quickly. Like my There San Diego newsletter takes me, 20 minutes to put together. And it's just like super, super easy. So Good Bits is the name of that tool. Good Bits. I think it's goodbits.io. It's a weird name, but it's a great tool for pulling together newsletters really quickly and nicely. So, okay, let me answer this one for David. And then I see, David, you added something more to it here down below. To clarify, the SaaS mode bones are $197, $297, $497 for ease of onboarding. Then do services above and beyond, like you did with your IT SaaS. Buy one package, $297, deal for two or more. Okay, cool. So there are a handful of different ways to approach this. And I am about to, okay, hold on here. When I turn around, I'm going to lose sound. So let me put in my other microphones real quick. Sorry. I should have done this from the beginning. My apologies. Should have anticipated that I would want these microphones. So let me just do this real quick. And then we will keep on trucking here. So let's see here. It's real fast here, gang. All right, if I disappear on you 1 second for audio, I will be right back with you. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. All right, looks like the new microphone is working. You guys hear me okay with the new one here? I think that think that it's come back to life. This microphone allows me to walk around and turn my back to the screen and all that stuff, and you'll still be able to hear me. Okay, good. Awesome. Thanks, Gene. All right, cool. We should be good. So, all right, in terms of packaging your services, there are a couple major ways to consider this. And so, David, it really comes down to the services that you're going to offer, who you're offering them for, and things like that. So I'm just going to give you, I'll give you some ideas here, though. Okay, so there is the model where you are doing different types of services. So I'm going to say service 1, service 2, service 3. Okay. Service 1 being, let's just say, reputation related. Service 2 being reach related. Service 3 being resell related. Okay. So these are 3 different types of services. And any one of these services could stand alone on their own, right? So you could have a module and set of features that you turn on inside of high level and turn, on the SaaS platform that are all of the reputation related features, capturing reviews, things like that. Okay. So, and you could, that could be a $297 a month service. Same thing with reach, just for simplicity's sake, same thing for resale. Okay. So this is very similar to the way I did it at Kutenda. I had these different, types of services. And then what I said was you sign up for any 2 and you're paying $497. So you're getting a discount there, $100 a month roughly. You sign up for any 3, right? And you're getting that at $697. So you're saving, a couple $100 a month there. So that is if you're structuring your services as we have these different types of services. So that's one way of doing it. Okay. That is more like the R4 model in the way it's outlined. The other way that has always worked for me very commonly is what I call the 3M model. Okay. And so the 3M model, and this is just an example. You don't have to take it literally, but this is still just the way I use to describe it. So let's, in this case, do M1, M2, M3. Okay, so 3 M's. So this is monitor, this is maintain, and this is manage. So in this case, it can be the same service type that you're offering, let's say reputation, okay? But it's different levels of service. So in this case, it could be just reputation, or it could be that, when somebody buys into your system, they get all of the different feature capabilities. They always do. So we don't sell just reputation related. You get our whole system, which is reputation, reach, resale, referral, blah, blah. You get all the tools, right? But you get different levels of service. So monitor being the lowest level of service, like we're just keeping an eye on things for you. And again, don't take these 3 M's literally. This is what I used in the IT industry. And the 3M acronym has always just stayed with me. But I found that it's still a valuable way to think about 3 different levels of service, okay? So let's do this again for reputation. If I were to monitor your reputation, but that's all I'm doing, I could put some various like social listening tools out there that would allow us to see when somebody is out there saying bad things about you on social media, and be able to then automatically produce a report, an alert that goes to you and says, hey, you need to go over to Instagram right now because people are commenting and saying nasty things about your business, right? So that could be a monitoring service, could be 100% automated. I don't do anything then beyond that other than we just send you these automated alerts, okay? And so because it's totally automated, that could be a $97 a month service, whatever. Maintain, okay, maintain then is this next level up. And so maybe with maintain, what we're doing is not only are we monitoring, but we are also the first line of response to try to mitigate any negative issues, right? So, when we see those negative comments, we're going to alert you, but we also have a team of people that are trained up on your customer service practices and all that type of stuff. We will respond to them right away, and we will handle any what we will call, first level support issues, right? As soon as it goes up to a second level support issue, and we would define that with the customer. Second level, issue is when, the customer is like red hot, saying all kinds of crazy, nasty things about your business and your brand and all that type of stuff, and we can't get them to cool down right away. Then we're going to escalate that to you and your team to manage. But we're going to do all the first tier issues, 497. But it's still reactive, right? When it comes to your reputation, this is still reactive. Then a manage level of service would be, just by the word manage, that implies proactivity. So in manage, we're not just going to monitor and maintain, but we're going to build your reputation. We're going to proactively do things to build your reputation. We're going to collect reviews. We're going to post reviews. We're going to respond to the negative comments, but we're also going to publish, 2 PR, press releases about your business every month that are, very positive, and get those distributions so that people are finding that content with all the positive things to say about you, yada, yada, right? So that's an example of a 3M model. And so you could structure your services that way. So here, again, it's 3 different services. Here, it's 1 service, but 3 different levels of service, okay? So it's up to you to determine which route you're going down, right? I can't tell you that, because that's your business. That's, you got to decide who your customers are, all that type of stuff. So that you can make that decision, how you want to compete strategically in the market. But those are the 2 major ways I think about it. So one of the things I want to say about this, David, and to anybody else, I want you to try and realize, and depending on how familiar you are with high level, this can be a little bit, maybe difficult to grasp until you're more familiar with it. But keep in mind that the way that you are configuring the packages in the SaaS configurator in high level does not have to be exactly the way that you are selling the services. And I know that may seem a little weird, because it seems like, wait a minute, if I'm going in there and I'm configuring these things in the SaaS configurator, then that's what people are going to see. But that SaaS configurator is purely behind the scenes. It's purely internal to you. Nobody sees that but you. How you then take those packages and represent them to the world is completely independent of that, and is up to you how you present those things. Okay, so that gives you flexibility that, again, may be a little bit hard to understand until you've actually gone in there and done it and thought through it. But it gives you flexibility that is powerful. And let me try and explain why. If I go into the high-level SaaS configurator and I create a 297 package, a 497 package, and a 697 package, okay? And in the high-level configurator, SaaS configurator, it's all about high-level features and then packages of minutes and things like that, and SMS that determine, why each package is different from the other. So package 1, you've got all these features built into it, and you've got 100 minutes that are included. Here you've got all those features plus 3 more, and it's 200 minutes. And then over here, you've got a handful more, and it's, 400 minutes, okay? Then with these packages, you also have the ability to add snapshots on there you have the ability, you don't have to, but you can, but snapshots are super easy to install. Once you set up an account, super easy to just, take a second and install the snapshot manually as well. So while the snapshot is a nice thing to have, if you exclude the snapshots and you just sell the packages this way, you have a tremendous amount of flexibility, because then I could have a 297, 497, 697, and either one of those could include my reputation snapshot and 297, 497, 697, or my reach snapshot and 297, 497, 697, or my combination snapshot that includes both of those at 297, 497, or 697. So it gives me a tremendous amount of flexibility to be able to then really, it just gives you super flexibility in terms of how you're actually presenting those packages to the world. So even though high level right now only gives you 3 packages in the configurator, you actually have a lot more ability beyond just those 3 packages. Okay. And again, like I said, I know we're getting into some, some details there, some nuance there, that if you haven't gone in there and really started messing around with it yet, this all may seem like I'm speaking Greek, but hopefully that gives you a little bit more to go on. Okay. So cool. So how does the payment process happen outside of high level SaaS mode? I'm thinking the 97 gets almost all the stuff in the configurator, then add templates, much like a service. Cool. So how does the payment process happen outside of the high level SaaS mode? So it doesn't necessarily happen outside of high level SaaS mode. You can do it that way. I think that you want to have their credit card in the system for sure for doing the SMS rebilling and stuff like that. Like you definitely don't want to try and have that happen outside of the system, because that would be a total pain in the neck. It would be manual effort and it would just be a disaster. So I still think that you want to have that happen inside of high level SaaS mode. But what you can do, like what I have, I have everything set up through ThriveCart. So I package, I sell all of anything I do for all of my business operations there, San Diego, and leverage and services at scale all happen through ThriveCart. So you may have kind of a 2-step type of thing there, where you're doing, some of your billing through a third-party platform, and then also having their credit card in the system for rebilling as well in the SaaS mode. You could do that. Again, this is where, high level has all of these amazing capabilities, and most of them are, 75% of the features that you want, right? They're not 100% of the features. So having all of the ability to do this exactly the way that we want to with our billing and stuff inside high level isn't necessarily there, and you got to kind of play around with it a little bit. That's why I always tell everybody the most valuable thing that you can do when you're setting up SaaS and setting up these different packages is set something up, then create an account where you are a user of that account, log in as a user, and then see what the experience is, right? So that you know what the customer experience is, because there's going to be some things that just are not quite as exactly the way that you want them. It's just the way it is. And I would encourage you to not worry about that too much, because it is it's relatively easy to overcome that stuff in terms of the overall user experience. Like it's not, as an example, like launching the follow-up Genius, that Billy Jean and I did. There's all kinds of things in there that are not exactly the way that we want them to be, but we can't configure them exactly the way that we want to be with high level, but we still have, tens of thousands of dollars a month in customers using that system. So, sorry, just responding to something here real quick. So I hope that helps, David. Let's see here. David says, through payments, then okay. I think that makes sense. ThriveCart is obviously on a WordPress site, right? Thrivecart is, Thrivecart has its own hosted checkout pages. You can also embed the actual checkout process onto any page that you want to. So you have options with Thrivecart. I could embed the checkout into a high level, funnel page if I wanted to, using Thrivecart. You got a lot of flexibility there. All right. Hopefully that helps, David. I hope so. Let's see here. Gene says, I'm going to focus on mortgage, but also want to eventually add real estate as it's very complementary. Definitely. Would I set up my 3 SaaS tiers so to work for either and then add different snapshots? That's what I would do, Gene. Yeah, exactly as I just described there in that last little bit about the flexibility that you can have if you set it up that way and separate the concept of snapshots from your actual configurator tiers there. That's the way I would do it for now. I'm sure in the not too distant future, High Level is going to give you the ability to create more packages, so that you can, manage that more effectively, but it's just not there just yet, right? If I create tiers that customers sign up for, then down the road modify or improve the offerings, are my first customers affected? It depends on specifically how you are talking about improving the offerings and whether or not you roll out those improvements to them. So as an example, Gene, if you are updating your snapshot, right? So you've said, my first customers got 3 funnel templates, but my newer customers now are getting 15 funnel templates. Those first customers would not get those new funnel templates unless you made them available to them in that snapshot. You would either push those new templates to them, or you'd give them a new link and say, hey, you can now, or you can download these additional templates. That would be up to you. Okay. Let's see here. Jennifer did a berry cast where she put all the services in the first tier and then showed on her sales page how they were all different. Cool. Let's see here. Yeah, you bet, Kevin. Awesome. Kale says, with Thrivecart, who is your payment processor? Someone besides PayPal? Yeah, Stripe, PayPal. You may have some other options as well. I'm sure you have some other options, but those are the 2 that I know and I use. But I believe that you can add some additional ones in there as well. Yeah, Thrivecart's cool. It's been super handy for me. Let's see here. All right, what other questions? Let's see here. Google Alerts can be another free source. Yeah, that's for monitoring for events. That's a great way. Yeah, I use Feedly. And so I have Feedly acting essentially as Google Alerts. It's watching all kinds of events, in San Diego, news announcements in San Diego and stuff like that as well. Let's see here. What are my thoughts on a media asset for adventure and water sports companies? Being that people are not typically local and might not visit a location often, I'm wondering about a good angle for it. I think that it's a good media property opportunity for sure. I think that it probably needs to be not local. I mean, unless where you're at is like a massive water sports area. So, you live in Florida, then I'm sure that you could do something that's just Florida or even maybe just parts of Florida or whatever, and still have a very valuable asset. But if you were to make this a media asset that you were, publishing content for more broadly, and then you had, a little location selector so that people could then, hone in on their specific market and find vendors in that market and find specific, content in that market, that type of thing, then that would make it, super valuable for sure, in terms of a bigger business for you. But if you just said, yeah, I mean, you're in Florida, if you just said, yeah, we're just going to do this in Florida, I mean, that would be super valuable to have. It may in and of itself not be a very big business, but it'd be a valuable business to have for a number of different reasons, right? For being able to sell advertising on, sell your services through, just influence in that market. So Mike says, I know this is kind of an open-ended question, but what would you say is the average cost to get a lead in for a demo or a consultation for a local service provider? That's a big, broad question, Mike. To say an average cost is not, I don't think it's a good, fair question, because an average cost to get a, plastic surgeon lead versus a plumber lead versus a restaurant lead, like they're going to be pretty dramatically different numbers. But I would say, here's what I would tell you, based on a bunch of different sources of metrics, if you will. If you were getting a $5 click and a $25 lead and a $250 meeting and a $2,500 sale, I would say that those are not bad numbers at all for selling more of like an agency service level offer. So you're selling your $697 a month. We provide these tools, plus we do X, Y, and Z for you as part of our service, yada, yada. Like, those are not bad numbers at all. Those numbers can go pretty, different directions from here, depending on what exactly you're selling and who you're selling to. So you just have to be aware of that. But these would be benchmarks that I would personally start with and assume that I should work with to start with. Okay. As an example, if you look at HubSpot's average cost to acquire a customer, they stopped publicly sharing that information a handful of years ago. But before they did, it was, I think their average cost to acquire a customer was up around the 10K range. Okay. Now, most of you look at that number and choke and go, well, there's no way I could spend $10,000 to acquire a customer. Many of you probably look at this number and choke and say, there's no way that I could spend $2,500 to acquire a customer. I would say that if you are looking at that and thinking that, you don't realistically know your numbers, and you need to spend time on that, and you need to spend time understanding. And I've got a whole video out there on YouTube that you can review on this, where I say that the number one killer of success for most entrepreneurs is false expectations. You see somebody, somebody's funnel that they're advertising to sell you their, $5,000 coaching. And they're telling you, I get floods of endless customers coming in. I can't even turn off the money gushing spigot of opportunities because, my funnel is just magic and it rains out customers, right? So that crap gets people thinking that, I'm just going to be signing up customers for, $15 a piece. And I'm immediately just going to be, gushing money. It's not reality. And these numbers, when you're selling any sort of professional service, certainly if you have any sort of salesperson involved, whether that's you or somebody that you've hired with a $45,000 a year base plus commission or whatever, you are not going to get customers for less than, I mean, are there scenarios where your total cost to acquire the customer, if you have a salesperson involved, okay, where you could get it down to $1,500 per customer? Yes, there are scenarios, but those are kind of unicorn scenarios, okay? Just by the very fact that you're having to pay somebody salary and commission and stuff like that, like it's almost impossible to get numbers anywhere, below that, right? So 2,500, these are decent numbers, okay? Those are good benchmarks to use to at least just kind of start building your business around, right? And by the way, so you may be going, well, Mike, how in the world do I make these numbers work? If you're telling me it's $2,500 to get a sale and my package is only, $497 a month, what the heck, right? Now I'm in the hole. Yeah, you are. And that's why you have got to anticipate that if you don't keep your customers for over a year, your business stinks, right? You really get profitable when your customers have been with you over a year, okay? But you can sell this package just because it's $497 a month doesn't mean that that's the way you have to bill for it. That doesn't mean that's the way you have to collect cash for it, right? So you could do it's $497 a month, but we bill annually at $5,000 a year. So now you're getting $5,000 up front and they're getting a discount. It's a $1,000 discount for the year, right? It was $497 times 12 would be $6,000. They're paying you $5,000. So you're saying, but we bill annually at $5,000. Okay, so you could do that. They have to pay up front. You could also do a setup fee. So it's $497 a month, but there is a $2,500 setup fee. And that is really just to cover your cost of sales. Okay, super common. There's a number of different ways to actually bill and charge so that you make the cash work so that you can grow organically without having to invest additional cash into your business. But this is why most businesses raise money. Okay, the number one reason why most businesses raise money is because they have to feed the sales and marketing engine. The cost of sales is, for most businesses, when they're starting, the biggest cost, right? And it's the one that's most grossly unaccounted for in most small businesses. Most small businesses, you're not thinking of your time and your cost as a business owner when you're figuring out your cost of sales. So you're doing your cost of sales and you're going, oh, it's $5, $25, $250 to get the meeting and I closed the sale. It was $250 to get a sale because I got that meeting and then I closed them. So it's $250. Or I got 3 meetings and I closed 1 out of 3. So it's $750. Ha ha, Mike, I'm crushing your numbers. But you're not including your cost as a business owner, right? You're ignoring the fact that if you were just a typical salesperson expecting to make 6 figures, you were 10K for that month. And so your 10K then divided into the sales that you made. Let's say you made 3 sales for the month, 4 sales for the month. If it was 4 sales for the month, just your commission, your cost of paying you as a salesperson would be $2,500 per sale, plus the other costs that you invested to actually get that sale to you in your opportunity pipeline. Okay? So I have, believe you me, studied the numbers of how much it costs to sell to small businesses and sliced and diced them and modeled them probably more than just about any human being on the planet other than that dude at HubSpot who wrote the book on this stuff, which is an excellent book if you really want to get into this. These numbers are realistic. Okay. Rajesh, I see you back there. Did you want to come on and chat, sir? Just wave your hand if you want to. Okay, cool. I'm going to bring you on camera here. Let's see here. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, I can't hear you. You must be
Oh,
muted on your end because on my end, you're not.
1 second. How about now?
Nice. Our new digital publications for June yield a 37% open rate and 20% open rate for July. Awesome. Well done. Yeah, that's about right. I get about a 35% open rate on my email newsletter. Oh, you can hear them? Okay, hold on. Wendy, hold on, Rajesh. It's something on my end. Hold on here. Must have my outbound microphone here goofed up. Hold on. Try it now, Rajesh.
Yeah. How about now?
I can hear you. Sorry, that was my bad.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I
Good.
have seen that you have done a month's long vacation without breaking a
Yeah.
sweat. So I was like, yeah, this is the life I'm trying to build for myself too. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm in I'm trying to understand your segregation of what you did for the reputation reselling and that kind of stuff. When you talked about reputation, you talked about having three different plans, as in a basic tier and listening only, responding first responders, and then amplification or something like that. So do you suggest that all are, so if I am looking at four parts of a business, like reputation, resale, reach, and retargeting, do you suggest that we have different levels of engagement in each segment of it? And then how do you price the final output? Like, is it like a combination of this and that and all this stuff, or is it nothing
Nah,
and
I
then?
I think particularly when you're selling to small businesses, you got to keep it simple. As soon as you start having like a spreadsheet of tiers of, you can pick this and that and this and that, we can combine them all. You're really shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to selling to small businesses. You almost don't want to give them options, right? I mean, really, the only reason you're giving them options is, there's usually some necessity to do it, but also I gotta say that psychologically, it is incredibly valuable to use three different packages in particular as a tool for selling. It just is. Human nature says that if I show you, Rajesh, a basic, pro, and premium, and one's $297, one's $497, and one's $997, there are about 20% of the people in this audience that will automatically just go right to this number. Because however they think about money, they think about prices, they think about, Mike, you're trying to rip me off if you're a salesperson trying to sell me at the higher price points. It's like psychologically, they just go there. If you are if you are a different type of person, different person goes right here. And my experience is it's about 20% of people immediately go, whatever's the best thing, that's what I need to have. And then about 60% of people fall right there in the middle. Knowing that gives you the ability to structure things in ways that are beneficial to you as the service provider, knowing that it's going to work out this way. And that, my experience over and over and over again, is this is the way it works out. You can tilt it in one way or the other, but
Yeah.
that
So
psychology of pricing is super beneficial to be able to present to somebody.
yeah. So when we have the service tool, remember, you pointed it out in R4 search to SaaS or something like that. So you have four different columns wherein you put in reputation, reselling, reach, and retargeting. You have different segments of it.
Yep.
So how uh, do I have to put in some of each in the basic?
You could do it. You could do it however you want. There's unlimited. So let me just jump right into just showing you what you could do. Like the simplest version of this would be every package includes all 4 R's. But this package gets 100 SMS minutes, this gets 300, and this gets 500. That could be the only thing that's different between them. So you get to say, hey, look, all of our customers need all 4 R's. So every single package gets all 4 R's. You're going to get all of the tools available to you. You're going to get all of our awesome templates. You're going to get everything. But in this package, 100, 300, 500. So it just really depends on the size of your business and the volume of your usage and all that type of stuff. And you can just scale up based on usage at any time. Super simple, easy to understand, easy to execute. You could also, they all get all 4 R's, but this one gets 100 minutes plus it gets basic support. This one gets premium support. This one gets, more hands-on. We're actually proactively doing stuff for you. So you could bake in kind of the 3 M's, right? This is a basic level. This is we're proactively managing the thing for you. This one is do it yourself. This one's done for you, right? So you can do it that way. I mean, there's really unlimited ways that you could package this up. And again, it's all about how are you trying to position in the marketplace, and what's your value proposition that you're trying to communicate to your customers. And this will largely be driven by who's the avatar that you're selling to. Okay, and so what I mean by that is let's take 2 different audiences. A quick service restaurant is one. Independent quick service restaurant is one avatar. The other avatar is some super duper high-end lawyer. Okay.
I'm in the learning niche, or people who are who have physical businesses, who are into education, experts, those kind of things.
Cool. I'm just going to use these 2 examples though, just to try and demonstrate the difference between them, and so how I would structure my services, because those are like 2 dramatically different audiences, right? One is some high-end lawyer who charges $1,000 an hour and thinks he's a genius. The other is a quick service restaurant whose hair is on fire every single day, just trying to make it to the end of the day and collect some money and get some sleep before they wake up the next day and do it again. And they're just frazzled and running 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? Also, that quick service restaurant has been pitched a whole bunch of different tools that they could use to manage their restaurant more effectively, right? Quick service restaurants have no end to all these little tools that they could use and all that type of stuff, right? So maybe my pitch to the quick service restaurant is, man, you don't have time for any of that nonsense. There's 0 chance in your day with what you're doing every day, hiring, firing employees, manage people, dealing with customer issues, trying to get food in the door, trying to produce that food, trying to sell it, trying to collect cash, that you're now going to sit down with a bunch of marketing tools and do this for your business. That's why every single plan that we sell has everything integrated, plus we manage it for you. You don't have to do a thing. Oh, okay. And the only difference between the packages is just, do you want 100 minutes, 300, 500, depending on the size of your business, and yada, yada. And that's it. Okay. So that would be my pitch to that business owner, because I know what they've been hearing in the marketplace over and over and over again is something that they don't have the capacity to manage, right? They can't do that. So I'm going to take over all that for them. Versus if I was pitching to a super high-end lawyer, egomaniac, thinks that they're the smartest person in the world, wants to be able to review everything before it goes out the door because it's got their name on it and their reputation is the most important thing in the whole wide world, and yada, yada, right? So when I make that pitch to them, it's going to be a different pitch. It's going to be a pitch of, hey, we do these things, but you have ultimate control. We set up everything as much as possible to make it as easy as possible for you to then review these things and get them out the door, but you have complete ability to modify it. You have complete ability to customize it. you're the one who actually hits the go button before it goes out the door. That's all up to you, right? So it's going to be a totally different way that I'm presenting. Even if I'm using the exact same set of tools and all that stuff, my pitch and my value proposition is going to be very different for those two audiences. So, you know, it really depends on who you're selling to that determines how exactly you're going to put your value proposition and your packages together. Make sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out, so I'll get to it. No issues. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I hate giving an "it depends" answer. And obviously, Rajesh, I mean, the best way for me to give you more constructive feedback is if you put together that first version of the packages and say, Mike, hey, here's who my avatar is. Here's what I've identified is the conversation going on in their mind based on the feedback I've heard from them. Here's their stress points. Here are their goals, all that type of stuff. Here are the packages that I put together that I think address that. And then let me see that and try and give you some specific feedback. So I'm not just talking theoretical mumbo jumbo. That's, you know, that's the best way for me to help you there.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. Right. Thanks.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, sir. It's good to see you. All right, let's see here. Patrick says, will you now be experimenting on TikTok to grow your TSD biz? I should. Absolutely, Patrick. I should. I've got to figure that out and make some decisions. Yeah. It is not something that I've decided like 100% that I'm going to yet, but I should. So you will be the first to know. Mike, that's awesome. I'm glad that helped you. Cool. Let's see here. I don't see any other questions right now. Any other questions, folks? Let me know. I will do my best here to answer them for another 10 minutes or so here. So if you got any questions, let me know. So what Patrick was, let me just go ahead and share with you real quick what Patrick was referring to is that while I was in Portugal, I went ahead and put together my third only ever TikTok video. And this is pretty awesome to see, right? This is the power of TikTok. Here it is right here. And you can see it now has 100,000 views versus my other, 1,330, 1,777. So this one up to 100,000 views. And oh, cool. So here's my engagement rate, 12% versus 5. And you can see it has, let me see if I click on it, it's generated a ton of, let's see here, 9,146 likes, 230 comments, 2.4 thousand shares. So I have, been blown away by the response that it got. I mean, it was not anything that I expected, that kind of response. As I said, it's my third video on TikTok. It shows the power of TikTok more than it shows the power of my video. And that's why I was saying to Patrick earlier that really, if you're not taking advantage of vertical video, you're really, that needs to be a thoughtful decision. The reason why you're not taking advantage of vertical video, because this is where attention is right now. Okay. So yes, head over to TikTok, follow me there. Let's see here. Rajesh says, does taking WordPress static affect our website and its rankings? I have absolutely no idea, Rajesh. That's a great question, but I have no clue. Mike, any update on those two guys in Colorado with their magazine named after their zip code? Are you referring to the guys with the magazine named after the Elevation 5280? 5280 magazine is referring to Denver's Elevation. I think maybe that's what you're referring to. I think they're doing great. I think it's a very nice media business. Let me just check here real quick. So I think you're referring to these guys. And if that's who you're referring to, I think they're doing very well. I think they're they're considered one of the leading local publications in the country. Yeah. Yeah, they're doing great. Let's see here. What other questions? Any other questions I can answer for you guys before we head off to the rest of our Friday? Let me know. Let me know. Otherwise, get out there and get after it. I am up to my eyeballs in YouTube-y stuff. YouTube is my big growth goal this year, and I am far from where I want to be. I'm growing, and that's great. I'm growing consistently, but I want to really try and accelerate it. And so I've invested in some YouTube training, and I'm doing my absolute best to sit down and be super committed to it. So hopefully I'll have some results to show you here pretty quickly. So the rest of my Friday will be spent on that, and then getting out and enjoying myself a bit before the weekend. Got 2 girls playing in a massive soccer tournament out here this weekend, and so I will be on the soccer fields all weekend long watching games. I think I've got 8 games to watch this weekend. Are you seeing any issues with high-level sites ADA compliance? I am not, Wendy. No. I'm not seeing any issues with it. But that being said, I would not be in good position to see any issues with it just based on the nature of what I'm doing. It's not really an issue for me. So awesome. You bet. You bet. Cool. All right. Well, it looks like that is it. Of course, any other questions that you have, you can always reach me inside of the Circle group. Post your questions there, and I'll be happy to get to them. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming to, don't lose my voice. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming to office hours. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of the community. Get out there, get after it, build that business, enjoy your weekend as well. Absolutely, Wendy. Thank you for being here. And we will see you on our next office hours call in 2 weeks. Otherwise, we'll see you in the community between now and then. Okay? Take care, everybody. Thank you for being here. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.